Picture the modern beauty aisle, hundreds of shampoos, conditioners, and serums lining the shelves, promising everything from frizz control to miraculous growth. The hair care business today is a juggernaut, worth billions. In fact, by 2032, the global hair care market is projected to reach over $200 billion, and the US hair care market alone accounts for tens of billions. Luxury salons craft personalized treatments for hefty prices, while drugstores offer affordable products for every hair type. Social media influencers review curl creams and styling gels, and new brands launch every year to meet an insatiable demand. The industry is booming and diverse, but it wasn't always this way, especially not for Black women. Travel back a little over a century, and the landscape of hair care in America looks very different. At the turn of the 20th century, there were no mass-market products tailored to Black women's hair. Many Black women resorted to home remedies, bacon grease, heavy oils, butter, even lye mixtures to straighten or manage their hair. These improvised solutions were harsh and often dangerous, damaging scalps and hair. Compounding the issue, severe scalp infections like dandruff and tetter, psoriasis, were rampant in those days. In history, textbooks, and Black History Month tributes, one name from this era stands out: Madam C.J. Walker. Born Sarah Breedlove in 1867, she rose from washing laundry for $1.50 a day to building a vast hair care empire. Madam Walker became one of the wealthiest American women of the early 1900s, often celebrated as the first Black woman millionaire. Her success story has become legend. A young widow suffering hair loss, she finds a miraculous hair growth formula, parlays it into a business, and by 1919, dies as the wealthiest self-made woman in America of her time. Her life inspired a Netflix series starring Octavia Spencer. In short, Madam Walker is a legend, a vision of glamour, wealth, and inspiration that emerged from the humble hope of healthier hair. But what if we told you that this familiar success story has a missing chapter? What if behind the dazzling rise of Madam Walker, there was someone else, someone who lit the spark and mentored her journey? This story isn't actually about Madam C.J. Walker at all. It's about the woman who came before her, the one who gave Walker her start, and yet whose name has faded from the spotlight. Before Madam Walker ever sold a single jar of hair grower, Annie Minerva Turnbow Malone was already changing the game. Born in Illinois to formerly enslaved parents, Malone, born 1877, had a knack for chemistry and a passion for hair from a young age. As a girl, she learned about herbs and natural remedies from an aunt and began experimenting with hair formulas in the late 1800s. She saw Black women suffering from hair damage due to the harsh methods of the day and knew there had to be a better way. By around 1900, at only about 30 years old, Annie Turnbow Malone developed her own novel product, an ointment she dubbed the Wonderful Hair Grower. It was a revolutionary scalp treatment designed to promote healthy hair growth without the caustic side effects of lye or grease. Armed with her growing line of hair products and determination, Malone set out to reach Black women who needed them. In 1902, she moved to St. Louis, Missouri, strategically timing her arrival with the run-up to the 1904 World's Fair. She understood that St. Louis, with one of the nation's largest Black populations and throngs of visitors expected for the fair, was the perfect place to grow her business. She opened a shop on St. Louis's Market Street and began going door to door, personally demonstrating her products. She would knock on doors and offer free scalp treatments to prove how effective her methods were. One house at a time, one customer at a time, she built trust. Word spread about the wonderful hair grower that could heal scalp ailments and grow back thinning hair. Annie officially trademarked her line under a brand name that carried a piece of Africa in its identity. The word poro, drawn from West African terminology, refers to a devotional society, a fitting choice for a brand devoted to uplifting. Under the Poro banner, Annie sold shampoos, scalp oils, pressing combs, and pomades tailored for Black women's needs. It was during this bustling time in St. Louis that fate brought a struggling washerwoman to Annie Malone's doorstep. That woman was Sarah Breedlove, the future Madam C.J. Walker, though in 1903 she was known simply as Sarah, a laundress with badly damaged hair. Sarah suffered from severe dandruff and near baldness from years of improper care. Desperate for a solution, she found one in Annie Malone. According to Malone's account, she personally treated Sarah's scalp, applying her sulfur-based formula and teaching Sarah her healthy hair regimen. Malone's mantra was, "Clean scalps mean clean bodies," believing hygiene and health went hand in hand. She instructed Sarah to wash her hair regularly, massage the scalp, improve her diet, and use Malone's ointment religiously. The results were astonishing. Sarah's hair, once fragile and shorter than her ears, began to grow, eventually cascading past her shoulders. It was a life-changing transformation. Annie Turnbow Malone did more than just heal Sarah Breedlove's hair. She opened a door for her. Impressed with Sarah's enthusiasm, Malone hired her as a sales agent for Poro College, Malone's growing hair care company. For the first time, Sarah Breedlove had an opportunity beyond washing clothes. She became a commission agent, selling Malone's wonderful hair grower and other products to women in her community. Malone effectively took Sarah under her wing, training her in product use, sales tactics, and the philosophy of beauty as empowerment. It's no exaggeration to say that without this first break, Madam C.J. Walker might never have launched her own empire. As one historian put it, it's also not hyperbole to suggest that without Annie Malone, Madam C.J. Walker would not have become a household name. Malone gave the future mogul her start in the hair care business when no one else would. For a couple of years, Sarah worked for Malone, learning the ropes. She traveled around selling Poro products, honing her sales skills, and witnessing Malone's growing enterprise firsthand. In 1905, newly remarried and now going by Madam C.J. Walker, Sarah moved west to Denver, Colorado, and it was there that she decided to strike out on her own. Armed with knowledge and inspiration gained from Malone, Walker began selling her own line of products, which were, notably, heavily inspired by Malone's formulas. While Madam Walker became more famous, Annie Malone's own accomplishments were extraordinary and crucial to the future of beauty and Black entrepreneurship in America. In 1918, Malone built her crown jewel, Poro College in St. Louis. Through Poro College, Malone professionalized beauty culture for African Americans. She taught thousands of Black women the science of hair and scalp care, grooming, and how to run a business. These graduates became licensed Poro agents, spreading Malone's techniques and products across the United States and abroad. Over the decades, tens of thousands of women, some sources say nearly 75,000 worldwide, built careers as Poro agents, salon owners, and salespeople because of Annie Malone. At a time when job opportunities for Black women were mostly limited to domestic work, Malone created an entirely new path to economic independence. As we reflect on the glitzy aisles of today's hair care market, the creams, oils, and conditioners created by and for women of color, we are, in a way, seeing Annie Malone's legacy in action. Each small beauty startup, each Black-owned hair care brand, owes a debt to the pioneers who proved it could be done. The next time we celebrate Madam C.J. Walker's achievements, let's also remember the generous mentor at her back. Malone's life is a testament to the unsung heroes of history, those who might not seek the spotlight, but through mentorship and faith in others, ignite a spark that lights up the world. Behind every icon, there's often a mentor, an unsung hero, and behind Madam C.J. Walker's iconic success stands Annie Turnbow Malone, the visionary who believed in her first.